I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about hot and cold to rude.
Oh my.
Yeah, hot and cold sounded better than rude.
Well, it all sounds quite dramatic.
It does.
Yes.
It does sound very dramatic. You know, sometimes when you're dating somebody, they can be really hot and cold towards you. One minute they are excited to see you and hear from you.
Right.
And they're eager to be around you, and next minute they want nothing to do with you, they're ignoring you, and they're blowing you off, they're canceling plans. It can be really frustrating.
Yes, when you're getting the mixed message, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what they're thinking. You don't know what they're feeling, because especially in the beginning of a relationship, you don't know that person.
Yeah. So don't say yes if you mean no.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
some people do that because they grew up in a household where they
Yes.
couldn't express their needs.
Where they couldn't say no, and that's absolutely common. Yep.
And so instead of just saying, no, I'm not really interested, or I can't because I have other plans, or whatever, they leave you wondering.
Yeah.
And then you sit there.
If it was something about me, or, yeah.
It could be really frustrating. Hot and cold behavior is common, right? Because sometimes somebody can really be excited about you. Maybe they did have a good time with you, but then they're thinking about their ex. Or maybe they're thinking about something annoying that you did. Or, you know, whatever it is. There could be a lot of different reasons for the behavior. But if you try and force somebody with your anxiety, right? Because that's what happens to us a lot.
Yep.
We get anxious, we try and force things,
Yep.
we want an answer,
We
I want to
hurry
see
things,
you.
yeah.
And we just try and solidify it. It often pushes the person in the opposite direction.
Right.
So we got a good email today that kind of shows some of this behavior. This is from a couple in their mid-20s. This is from a guy, and they dated for about 4 months. So this is the early stages of a relationship, right? He was explaining her situation and said that she's very close to her family. They talk daily in a group chat or individually.
Oh my.
So that's pretty often.
Oh yeah. That would immediately trigger for me some kind of separation problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Her parents are somewhat controlling, and they're judging her about clothes, drinking, and who she dates.
Oh my goodness.
That could be part of their culture, but obviously it's not healthy.
No.
Her parents smother her. Every time she is home, she complains that her parents want to keep her in the house, and they don't want her out with friends. So this girl probably hasn't really learned to say no.
Is she from another culture?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into the specific
No,
country.
but it's
because
somebody's old world custom.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she probably isn't telling mom and dad no. She goes along with it and then secretly does her own thing.
Yes.
That's probably how she operates.
That probably is. That's probably how she's had to operate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to slyly do
Yeah.
things to get what I want.
Yeah.
So she's got that kind of mindset. Let's see how this plays out in their relationship. He says, I ended the relationship. I broke up with her. Things were rocky for about a month, and she wanted to take a step back and keep our relationship hidden from our friends. Something she's probably had to do her whole life.
Yes.
Her reasons for this was that she was fresh out of a previous relationship and didn't want a new one. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
She's just out of a new
Sure.
long-term relationship. She's not ready for something new.
But the secretiveness is striking, but as you say, culturally it may make great sense. Yeah.
Our friends told her that they didn't approve of our relationship and that we had some fundamental differences. I wonder if it's the differences in the cultures. And she's probably exploring, well, maybe I want to date a guy from a different culture, and her friends are like her parents.
That's what it certainly sounds like. With friends like that, who needs parents?
Yeah. She didn't see a future together. Maybe because of the culture
yes,
differences.
Sure. They have expectations of her.
She told me these things a month ago, and she was hot and cold ever since, going from completely into me to wanting nothing to do with me randomly. But we were still together privately. See, what I think was going on there is sometimes she was really enjoying his company, but then sometimes she's thinking about, oh, my friends and my family, I can't date this guy. There's nothing
I'm going to have
long-term.
to choose at some point. Who wants that?
I can't do this.
Right.
And so when she was with him, it was natural. She was enjoying it.
She had a good time, yeah.
But when they were apart, she started to really think about it.
All those little voices came in and said, your parents don't approve, your friends don't approve.
He goes on to say, the last time she went cold, she started treating me very poorly. So I ended it. Well, that's good. He stood up for himself.
Yep.
A month ago, when she first started acting weird out of the blue, I was very calm and encouraged her to open up and talk to me. After a while, she eventually did just that, and that's how I got those reasons previously mentioned, and we agreed to slow things down, but stay together privately. See, she likes to operate on a level where she does things secretly.
Well, she also doesn't want to get back to her parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She wouldn't meet with me to talk when we went home for spring break, and I told her I was cutting contact until we spoke.
Good for him.
Okay, so he did some good stuff
Yes, he
here,
did.
setting some boundaries and saying, look, this we need to talk. And in this situation, he was trying to establish what the heck's going on, because she's going hot and cold on him. Okay, so he goes on to say, hi Craig, I met this girl about 4 months ago at my roommate's birthday party. We hit it off immediately. I asked her out shortly after, and we started dating. The first few months were great. Absolutely no problems, and we always had a great time together. The only weird thing is, I noticed that she would always refer to herself as the girl I'm, let's just say, hooking up with, and not dating. And I'm putting that politely.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
She would occasionally tell me stories about how she had a fear of commitment. And I found out that she had been inviting her best friend to come along on some dates with us, but the best friend refused because she didn't want to be a third wheel.
So she didn't want to get rid of this guy, but she wanted to bring somebody along so she wouldn't be alone with him.
And yeah, exactly. One night, about a month ago, she asked me to come along with her and her friends to the concert the next day. I said I would think about it if I found a cheap ticket. I would gladly go along. As luck would have it, I did. We started arranging ways to get there since it was out of town, and I could tell something was off. It turned out that her best friend was being very strict about her and I driving separately and doing our own thing before the concert.
Okay.
This girl allows other people to run her life.
Yes, she does.
This confused me and upset my friend, or meaning my ex. But that's what ended up happening, and eventually we ended up all together at the concert. Her best friend made a Facebook post about the concert and tagged everyone but me. Here, everybody take a look at who's here, but not you.
Not you.
Yeah. She made it clear. She ended up talking to her friend about it, but also told me that we should talk soon too. Later, she told me that her friends had a big problem with us being together and that we had fundamental differences and that we should keep the relationship a secret until they left town for school.
It sounds like they come from the same culture, doesn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. But the easiest thing to do would just be to split up.
If she doesn't want to.
Well, no, she said that to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I told her that I wasn't comfortable with this and that we should talk to our friends because it's none of their business. But she refused. I don't think this woman has really learned how to say no or put her foot down.
No, I don't think she has. She's in a tough position.
I also said if we split up that I don't want to be friends because the only problems we're having is our friends' disapproval and there's no reason to end a relationship. We agreed to talk more later. The next time we talked, she told me she doesn't want me to think that the problem was her friends and that the actual problem is that she's fresh out of a relationship and doesn't want one right now. Which makes sense for me. I said that would make sense, but that should have been a problem at the beginning, not several months in, and encouraged her to open up about the real problem.
So was the other guy okay, and this guy isn't, or?
We don't know much. We don't know anything about the other guy.
About that, but nobody seemed to be having quite such a fit then.
But I think he started to force himself on her here.
I know you do.
Right? She eventually opened up and said she thought we had some differences, but she couldn't give any examples, and she didn't see a future with me. We both agreed we had more to think about before we made a decision and would talk. Our final conversation, I told her that I didn't see these differences and still don't. And I think she's being negatively influenced by her friends. We agreed that she should take some time to get to know these things from me personally before she jumps to conclusions. She said she didn't know if she could trust me even though I gave her no reason not to. But this is a new relationship.
Right.
She doesn't know
him
you
that well. It's only 4 months, buddy. Yeah.
She might have, I'm guessing she has an avoidant attachment style, right? And
why wouldn't she? She's been smothered.
Yeah. And that we should take a step back and keep things privately from our friends. We did this for about a month. She was hot and cold the whole time, going from completely into me to wanting nothing to do with me out of the blue. And I'm sure a lot of it had to do with his behavior. He just doesn't realize it. Right? He was probably coming on too strong.
And it doesn't sound like having any understanding of the pressure she was under.
No.
From the agents of her culture and him.
I don't think so.
And she was in a bad position.
Yeah. The last time she went cold, she was especially rude. And I had it. I ended things with her. When she got back from spring break, she enthusiastically asked if I still wanted to talk. I said I was over the whole thing and asked if she just wanted to hang out instead. She happily agreed. We hung out in her bed and talked like usual.
Well, that's pretty chummy.
Yeah, exactly. That's, showing some interest there for sure. And ended up cuddling and watching a movie together. Ended up going for the kiss and got shot down. We waved it off and agreed to stay friends. I haven't spoken to her since. Okay, well, it sounds to me like this girl is still in a position in her life where she is taking orders from everybody. She's not saying no to anybody. She's not standing up for herself. She goes along with what her parents say, her friends say, and she doesn't make her decisions. And the way I'm seeing this is that she enjoys spending that time with you, but then when she thinks about anything real progressing, she's like, it's just not going to happen. I don't see anything.
They won't let me.
Yeah. And there's too many fundamental differences, as their friends put.
Although she couldn't name any.
Exactly. Probably culturally, maybe ingrained.
And we have come across this phenomenon before with someone who is coming from and may have grown up in an older culture with different norms and so forth. So this is not the first consultation we've had on this. And it's a very difficult position, and it's usually the woman, to be in, where she has a family handing her a whole different set of expectations, and then she comes here where the mores are very different.
Absolutely.
It's a bad position to be in. It's kind of like a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think the hot and cold behavior in this situation was that when she was with him, she really enjoyed herself.
Right.
But then when she thought about all the added things that come with a relationship with him, she was thinking, it can't happen.
And I don't know that he was really in tune with how difficult this was for her.
Yeah.
I think he took it personally when she would reject him.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But, it seems to me like, unless she makes a decision for herself and says, look, I'm going to date so-and-so, that's who I like, that's who I care about, and that's the way it's going to be, she's just going to let other people run her life.
Yeah, and that's a very bad situation for her to be in.
Absolutely.
Because eventually, no matter where she comes from, she's going to have to run it herself and make her own decisions.
Yep. So, if I'm in this situation, I would even say to her, look, you need to figure out what it is that you want. Right. If you want to date me...
Not what anybody else wants.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to date me and be casual and non-exclusive, I don't mind not telling anybody. Right? It's nobody else's business.
Right.
But I'm not going to be exclusive with you unless you're willing to tell people.
And make that much of a commitment. Yeah.
Yes. That's what I would do in this situation.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah. Okay. So, tough situation for him because he really liked this girl. But you know what? If you leave her alone and you let her make the decision on her own, maybe she'll say, you know what? I don't care what my friends think. They'll get used to you.
Yes, and that would be a wonderful thing for her.
Absolutely. But that's really the only way I think this is going to progress.
Yeah, but these are difficult situations.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. You can sign up for a coaching option that works best for you. Email coaching, I do Skype coaching, and if you got to get with me right away, I do offer emergency Skype coaching. Margaret is also doing Skype coaching now.
Yes, and I look forward to talking with you.
And if you just click on Margaret at the top of the website, it'll show you how to sign up with her.
Okay.
But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.
Hi, I'm Coach Margaret, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist with 35 years experience. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. If you would like professional help with your situation, please contact us at askcraig.net.